Hello and welcome to my Yugioh channel. Make sure to like the video if you enjoy it and don't forget to subscribe. So today we're looking at the cards that were featured within Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s from episode 15. Most of these are going to be a lot of water or fish supports which haven't got any official release or confirmation for the Rush Duel game. But usually if it's been shown in the anime, it'll be, at least some of them will be made into a card at some point soon. The first card is Light Sorcerer, so that's the thing that you is holding up. It's a level 4 Light Spellcaster normal monster with 1500 attack and 0 defense. I have to say, from my point of view, that's okay for a stat line. There aren't that many level 4 monsters with that kind of attack stat at the moment, so this is one of the stronger ones. They're slowly trying to introduce a little bit of power into the game. I'm hoping it's not going too fast, but it's definitely a bit of a bit more progress. The next card is called Silver Wolf. It's not Silver Fang, don't mistake it. I think Silver Fang is actually in Rush Duels as well, but this is different. It's a level 3 Earth Beast effect monster with 1300 attack and 400 defense. And the requirement is if you control a face-up monster, it must be a beast type. Other than this card, you can activate by sending the top card of your deck to the graveyard. The effect is choose one face-up monster your opponent controls. It loses 200 attack and defense until the end of this turn. So if you look at it from this point of view, this card can run over anything up to 1500 attack. Of course, it would end up destroying itself in the process, but anything lower than that it can take down. It does require you to have another beast-type monster on the field, but the thing is with Rush Duels, you can summon as many monsters as you have in your hand, for that turn, so guarantees you're probably going to have multiple if you're running that. The stat reduction is so limited. If it had been 200 attack per beast-type, including itself, that might have been a bit more viable, but I don't see it being used. The next card is Spell Shattering Spear, not Spell Shattering Arrow. That's a completely different card that came from the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, and I don't know whether that's actually going to make an appearance in Rush Duels as well. The requirement is you must activate if you control 3 face-up monsters. They must be spellcasters. The effect is to choose one monster. It must also be a spellcaster type in your graveyard, and one set spell or trap card your opponent controls. Return both to their owner's hands. The good thing about this is you're able to recover a spellcaster you have from your graveyard to the hand. So it's a specific spellcaster recovery support. And actually, if your opponent isn't able to trigger their set spell or trap card in response to this effect, that means it's usually a battle trap. So you're actually able to remove that danger. Although it only goes to the hand, it at least gives you a turn to do something about it. And the thing is, you'll have 3 spellcasters, so you can hopefully go in for some direct attacks and do a little bit of damage. The next card is a Cure Shot. This is a normal trap card with the requirement to activate when an opponent's monster declares an attack. The effect is to choose one monster. It must be a water attribute in your graveyard. You gain life points times that monster's level, and inflict 100 damage times that monster's level to your opponent. These are very small amounts of damage. Even boss monsters, if you've got a level 8 monster, that's 800 plus and 800 minus from your opponent. It does have to activate on your opponent's attack declaration. So unless your opponent's life points are really down there, and I'm talking about to like cowboy level, it's not that viable at the moment. The next card is Anchor Moray. It's a level 3 water attribute fish type effect monster. It has 900 attack and 600 defense. And the requirement is you can activate if you control a face-up Yumi or Ocean. And the effect is choose one normal monster. It must be a level 3 or lower fish type in your graveyard. Then you can add it to your hand. So the point of this is, again, just to recover cards. I don't know whether this is just when it's normal summoned, basically you can have it, or whether this is a continual effect. I'm guessing it's just a once per turn effect, as it just seems to be when so long as you have the either Yumi or Ocean on the field. So recovering can be okay. The next card is Daikayu or Ocean. This is the field spell card. The requirement is you can only activate this card in the field zone if you control 3 face-up water attribute monsters. The effect is, while this face-up card is face-up in the field zone, all face-up monsters on the field that are non-water attribute lose 300 attack and defense. This reminds me a little bit of Yumi. If you go back to looking at it, it reduces the attack and defense stats of, I think it's machine type and pyro type monsters by 200 attack and defense. So this is a little bit better, but it is conditioned on you having 3 water attributes in the first place, though the stat reduction is a little bit better. So the pluses and minuses versus Yumi. The next card is Aqua Boost. This is a normal spell card, and the requirement is you can only activate if you control a face-up Yumi or Ocean. The effect is choose 1 water fish type you control. Until the end of this turn, it gains 300 attack times the number of face-up monsters. They must be fish type you control. So you can essentially increase your monsters up by 900 attack. If you have 3 fish type monsters, that's okay. And actually, at this moment, 900 attack difference does make that much difference. It's incredibly important to use, and I would see it being viable for the short term. The next card is Rotation. It's a normal spell card. You can activate if you control a face-up field spell. You'll likely have either Yumi or Ocean on. And the effect is to reveal 1 trap in your hand. Choose 1 card in your graveyard with the same name as that card, and place it on top of the deck. I find this card a bit confusing because if you already have a card, in your hand with that name, you're giving your opponent some information about your strategy there. The other thing is you've just top decked yourself. So if you don't need that trap for now, it's kind of useless. And having 2 of them, your opponent's going to try and do something if they know it's something that can respond to Battle Declaration or something else. And the final card is Killer Bite Ball. This is a normal trap card with the effect when an opponent's monster declares an attack, all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls lose 300 attack for each face-up monster. They must be fish type, level 3 or lower you control, until the end of this turn. So the whole point of this is actually to use one of the other cards to boost your life points, your fish type monster by 900, and to reduce theirs by 900. In this case, at the moment, those kind of stat increase and reductions are enough to make them viable. I wonder how long it'll be before we'll get cards which will make these cards look like a bit of a joke. What do you think of these cards? Are they good water and fish type support, or do you think, in comparison to the whole way Yu-Gi-Oh is going, that actually these are incredibly weak? Whatever you think, leave your comments down below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe.